Haven't already, grab your coat and move your car off of streets and avenues this morning. Fargo street crews are fueling up right now for day 2 of their deep clean.
Today's targets are neighborhoods just south of I-94 and east of I-29. Those trucks roll out in about 45 minutes at 7:30, or in just about half an hour actually, and they will go until 5 this evening. City officials are asking people to get vehicles out of the way if your block hasn't been cleaned yet. Now street crews are using this break from snowfalls to remove that hard pack ice and clear the entire width of the road. Tomorrow's push will be for neighborhoods that are west of I-29.
If you've been driving around or walking around lately, you know there are some slippery spots in many parts of the valley, but maybe not as quite as icy as in Roseville, Minnesota. Take a look at this. There is a teen who just simply put on her skates and took to the streets.
Yeah, look at that. Thankfully, we're not doing that around here too much. Watch out for the manhole cover there, though. That would trip you up on the skates. It is possible, though, after some freezing rain left an icy glaze on surfaces near the Twin Cities. Here, we just told you they're cleaning those streets, and we have good weather for it, so we want to check in with meteorologist Lisa Green on what we can expect. Morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Yeah, cleaning the streets. We're cleaning the air as the smog and fog have been cleared out by some of those stronger northerly winds that took over yesterday. So real improvements here for travel here this morning. We've got vehicles traveling by pretty easily here with good visibility. Just a couple of places where we're seeing a few flakes here to start off the day. And looking at our air quality index, we're in the green, in the good category, with our air quality at only 28 in Fargo. So huge improvement from recent days. Current temperatures, we've got to factor in a little wind chill as well because winds are out of the north and into the teens and 20s. And so for Fargo-Moorhead, we're at about 16 degrees, but it feels more like 1 right now. Similar setup in Grand Forks. Thief River Falls is at 13 degrees. It feels more like 2 below. And in Fergus Falls, one of our colder feeling spots, it feels more like 4 below. So this is a little chillier than where we've been. We've been so mild. That's actually helped to contribute to the fog development and the issues with air quality earlier. So this cooler air is just kind of the price we have to pay to get that air cleaned out. And as we take a look at your radar and satellite map, pretty quiet for most spots. If you look closely in Grand Forks, you can see a little light blue over town. That's where we've been getting a few areas of flakes and flurry activity. We've also been seeing that in the Detroit Lakes area as well. Otherwise, today's looking more on the just mostly cloudy side with some areas getting a little bit of sunshine breaking through once it's up. And notice our temperatures, no big changes going on today, holding steady with that northerly breeze, keeping us on the cool side for today. Should be a kind of a chillier night tonight, temperatures in the single digits, and we'll start a warming trend tomorrow, but it really kicks in for the weekend. And let's take an early look at our weekend planner. We're going to see temperatures back into some upper 20s on Saturday, and then for Sunday, maybe even reaching that melting point, 32 degrees. So it's going to get a little slushy, a little messy out there this weekend, but it will help with clearing off those areas of compacted ice and snow, not only on the roads, but also on your sidewalks and your driveways as well.
We finally have the time to clear all of that out. It
Yes.
feels like it's been a long time since we could get out there and do it.
Right. You know, we had that succession where you just couldn't barely keep up with the snow that kept coming our way in December. And it's been a nice stretch here where we've been nice and quiet. And that looks to keep going here, at least into the start of next week.
Okay, great news.
Thank you, Lisa. 6:54 right now. Flights across the U.S. are getting back to normal this morning, and the Federal Aviation Administration believes it has pinpointed what caused those problems we told you about yesterday. They say a corrupt file is to blame for the outage that grounded more than 8,000 flights.
Federal transportation officials say that so far there's no evidence of external or nefarious activity at this time. Federal prosecutors are dropping appeals against 2 former Minneapolis police officers involved in George Floyd's death. A federal appeals court yesterday accepted the government's request to drop the appeals against Alexander King and Tou Thao, but court filings give few details as to why.
In July, a federal judge sentenced King to 3 years in prison and Thao to 3.5 years for violating Floyd's civil rights. Those sentences were lower than what federal prosecutors had originally sought. Now, next Wednesday, the Minnesota Court of Appeals will hear oral arguments in Derek Chauvin's appeal of his sentencing on the conviction of state charges of second-degree murder.
He was sentenced to 22.5 years for kneeling on Floyd's neck, causing his death. Chauvin later pleaded guilty to federal civil rights charges and was sentenced to 21 years.
It was a kidnapping case that shook Minnesota, and now the man convicted in the 1999 killing of convenience store clerk Katie Poyer has died. Donald Blum was caught on security cameras abducting that 19-year-old while she was working alone in Moose Lake. He died of natural causes Tuesday while serving life without parole.
Blum admitted to strangling Poyer and burning her body on his vacation property in northeastern Minnesota. The crime led to the passage of tighter sex offender laws throughout Minnesota. An Oakley, Minnesota man is going to prison for 40 years for killing his wife, Lisette Reinbold, outside of their home in July of 2021. 46-year-old Eric Reinbold was found guilty last fall of second-degree murder. He fatally stabbed his wife following fights during their alleged deteriorating relationship.
The victim's children found her body in the driveway of her home. Eric Reinbold then led authorities on a nearly month-long search for him after that murder before he was found hiding in the woods in Pennington County. The former longtime Harwood Public Works superintendent has now been sentenced to 2 years in prison following an assault and a standoff in Otter Tail County last May.
61-year-old Bernard Stash threatened a woman, threw her to the ground, strangled her, and said he was going to kill her. He was also involved in an armed standoff with police before surrendering. Criminal charges are being dismissed against a Mahnomen County foster mother because of lack of evidence. 49-year-old Sheila Clark was charged in August with assault, child endangerment, and domestic violence.
The charges are related to Clark's 23-year-old son, Wyatt, who still faces criminal sexual conduct charges involving 3 children. He will go to trial next month.
A Bismarck police lieutenant is now on suspension after pleading guilty to refusing to take a DUI test.
State troopers stopped Lieutenant Cody Trom just before 1 in the morning on New Year's Day for a traffic violation. Court documents say that he would not perform a field sobriety test and he refused a chemical breath test. People packed the Ada Public School yesterday as Norman County Sheriff Jeremy Thornton was laid to rest. The sheriff died last week after a short battle with pancreatic cancer. Dozens of law enforcement agencies from Minnesota and North Dakota honored the late sheriff, ushering him to his final resting place.
A GoFundMe for Thornton's family has raised $4,000 of its $15,000 goal. We have the link on our website, valleynewslive.com. Food insecurity is an everyday problem for many people. The Great Plains Food Bank is one of the key programs that helps families across our region.
And that's where we find the Valley Today's Nishay Taylor this morning, going live explaining how we can help those experiencing food insecurity. Good morning, Nishay.
Good morning, Jordan and Ashlyn. Right now is a critical time to help out folks who are in need. And right now I'm joined by Jared Slendy with the Great Plains Food Bank. Jared, thank you so much for joining us. First thing, tell us, why is it such a critical time right now to fight hunger?
Well, it's certainly our clients are facing some challenges right now with high food costs, with high gas prices, and those different things. Our clients are already living paycheck to paycheck to begin with, and now with higher costs of so many different items, their budgets are getting stretched even thinner. So now is the time that people are in need, and our mission here is to end hunger together. And we really count on those relationships in the different communities that really help us do the work that we do.
All right, quickly tell us how people can help.
Well, certainly we're always looking for food and financial donations, looking for volunteers to repack meals to get out to those in need. So best thing to do, hit up greatplainsfoodbank.org. You're going to find a lot of different ways to get involved there.
Awesome. Such great advice there. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Reporting live, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
Definitely something that we need, as those grocery prices keep going up and people are having their paychecks get hit a little harder. So help out our neighbors when we can. Nishay, thank you this morning.
The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on here pretty quickly.
We're live up to the minute news and weather coming up for you right now on the Fargo CW. Otherwise, we're skating on out of our show, just like the girl behind us here. And we're right there on your screen. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe out there.
See ya.